How's he make himself not a hypocrite? Well, I'll buy a little one of these, $15 a month, and I'll buy a big one of these. Is that unbelievable or what? Shouldn't it be illegal? Shouldn't it be illegal to sell somebody this without telling them, educating them the truth about both? Should be, shouldn't it? You know what? I'm glad it is. Because it keeps me in business. Makes my job real easy. Because see, they go in and get them to spend a larger amount of money, don't they? And when I can come in and show them how they can have 4 times more for half as much, who do you think they like better, him or me? Who do you think they're going to do business with, him or me? Makes my job pretty easy, doesn't it? See, if you're a salesman, somebody else already talked them into spending the money, more money, and all you got to do is go in and show them how to spend half as much and give them a lot more value, that's an easy sale. Make sense?
Here's some questions.
Questions?
Shelby.
When you talk about like a mutual fund,
Yep.
where do you find that to put your money in that?
There's over 10,000 mutual funds to choose from today. So where does the average person figure out which one to pick from? Be kind of tough, wouldn't it? What's that?
Well, like my 401 is John Hancock's.
Yep. And if she has John Hancock for her 401k, it's not plain old mutual funds, it's an annuity, I'll about guarantee you. And you're paying twice as much money in fees as you'd have to. How much you want to bet?
Bring it in, we'll look at it.
You won't even see it on the statement. And I'll bet you if you call the guy who's doing it for you, in some cases they'll even lie to your face and say, no, you're not paying fees. Guys, is there a free lunch in America?
No.
No free lunches.
Wait, yes there is. Sister, will you buy me lunch?
Okay? So the point is this. She's paying twice as much money in fees as she would have to, and here's why. Sure money's not being invested by a true investment company. Who's ever heard of companies like American Funds, Vanguard, Fidelity, companies like that? You ever heard of them? Okay? Those are true time-tested investment companies. John Hancock is not an investment company. It's primarily an insurance company. And I think I just gave you a pretty good idea of what insurance companies do to people. Make sense? The only reason insurance companies like John Hancock and them offer so-called investment accounts now is because they were forced to. Late 1990s, stock market went like this. So here's what people were doing. They found out their whole life policy was only paying them 4% interest. But their neighbor had a mutual fund that made 30% last year. So what do they do with the money in the whole life policy? They're going to pull it out and they're going to go put it in that mutual fund, aren't they? Well, the insurance companies can't have all that money walk out the door. So they started offering mutual funds. Because see, if they invested in a mutual fund with that insurance company, at least the insurance company can still make something off of it. Not as much as they were making, but they can still make something. And something's better than nothing. So I sit down with people all the time who say, I got mutual funds. And we get out their statement. And we look at the statement. Well, first of all, it's invested with an insurance company. So they're charging them a lot more in fees than they would need to be. And secondly, the funds themselves, even if they were charging the same fees, are crappy funds. So where do you go? Here's how you find out. You got to go talk to a few people, and you got to be asking yourself the question, does this person have the heart of a teacher or the heart of a salesman? You know how easy it is to answer that question for yourself? All you got to do is ask them a few questions, and you'll be able to tell right in here if they're making crap up or if they're being honest with you. and they're willing to answer all of your questions. Here's what I do when I'm training my new guys. Because new people are scared to death of this kind of stuff, right? They get scared and they say, well, what if somebody asks me a question I don't know the answer to?
Be honest.
Because I've been doing it for 10 or 15 years, so they've seen me answer those questions, right? But they don't know the answers yet. I say, here's what you do. You look them in the eye. You say, that's a great question. Nobody ever asked me that one before. I could make something up, but I don't think that'd be right, do you? How about if I find out the answer from our experts and get back to you on that one? Who's ever sat down with a financial person? You walked out of their office 20 minutes later, and he felt like you understood about 1/4 to 1/2 what they said to you. Who's in control of that situation? Guys, it's simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. To educate yourself enough that you know what questions to ask, and when you go in there and ask those simple questions, the key is ask questions.
You gotta go.
Ask questions to things you know the answer to. You know what I mean? You looked it up online. It says this mutual fund charges a 0.6% fee to invest with them. So now you sit down with that guy. You know the answer, right? And you ask him, so what does this mutual fund charge me for a fee? If he's honest, he'll say what? 0.6%. He just passed the first test. Okay? Now the first time you sit down with him, you might not know those questions. But that's why the first time you sit down with him, you just kind of get a feel for him. Go back and do your research now. Then go back and sit down with them. So you can ask them questions that you know the answer to, and find out if they truly have the heart of a teacher or the heart of a salesman. Okay? Other questions?
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
You guys.